shelter in the shadows from the creatures of the night. Tentacles that slither just out of sight. Dark curses conjuring an endless dreadful blight. Beware the evil that goes bump in the night, lest you give yourself a fright with Mystic Moon tonight.
All right, are we live now?
We are totally live.
I'm not sure how well that might have played. It was certainly frozen on my screen.
Oh,
but-
yeah, it looked great. We had our countdown.
All right, well, then it's me. Okay, sorry. Time for a new computer. Anyway, welcome to Mystic Moon Cafe. We got it rolling on YouTube and Facebook as well. So welcome anybody watching or now or later, however it goes. And we're going to cover the Missouri monsters tonight. Are you guys ready?
I'm stoked.
I'm totally
okay. Now we've got a special guest coming on here in just a few minutes after Merle does his spiel. And
we can bring him on first if you want.
Oh, I don't. Whatever you want to do, Jake. I was just going by your script. However you were telling me.
Okay. Well, let's bring our special guest on now and kick off with him because it's getting late in the middle of the country.
Yes, it is.
Up too late.
And I'm old, so.
So let's bring on our guest.
All right. This is Russell Reynolds. Sorry about that. He is a Ghostbuster from up north of me here in Kansas City, and he has Beyond Life Paranormal.
Hey, Russell, welcome to the show.
Me.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Well, thank you so much for agreeing. You know, we love having guests on.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't mind being on shows.
Good deal.
If I can spread my knowledge and whatever you guys need,
sure.
I'm helpful to do that.
We appreciate that. And yeah, if you've got good experiences and you obviously tell them well, so I thought, oh yeah, he's got to be on.
Here you got some good stories.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've got one where we were coming back from the store, and it was probably good 8-9 o'clock at night. It was after dark. We were on like this country highway, on a highway called Highway M, and it was out by the Amish. And as we were going, we seen this dark figure standing on the side of the road. We thought maybe it was an Amish person because they wear them dark clothes without a light. But then this thing decided to hop on all fours and run across the road in front of my car. So we slowed down and stopped because it stood back up to 2 legs, and it looked at us, and it had red glowing eyes, and then it just disappeared. Don't know where it went.
Mm-hmm.
And never seen it again. We've been back through there numerous times, never seen it at all ever again.
So with that, when you saw it disappear, did it like fade into shadows, or did it leap to the side of the road?
It just kind of like faded into a shadow.
Oh, hot damn.
Jeez.
The eyes didn't even glow anymore. It was just like one big black blob that just faded away.
And with the red eyes, like how were they, like big red eyes, or were they like squinty little eyes, or?
They were big red eyes. It was enough that you could see them.
Mm-hmm.
But I know experiences from like the Jersey Devil and Mothman, you don't want to stare into their eyes. So we just kind of kept going, and my dad and I just kind of looked at each other like, what the hell was that? It was something we couldn't explain.
Probably pitch dark out there, no lights around, no city ambient light.
No, it was out in the country.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And there is an actual cemetery up on the hill from it. So
Now, what did its silhouette look like? It couldn't have been a bear, right?
No, it wasn't a bear
Okay.
because it was too short to be a bear. When a bear stands up, they're good 6 or 7 feet tall.
True. Mm-hmm.
And I grew up in the woods most of my life, hunting and fishing. So I've seen black bears in the wild, and
Mm-hmm.
that was definitely not a black bear. It didn't even have fur.
Oh,
It
wow.
kind of looked like a humanoid figure when it stood up to 2 legs.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I'm
what
glad
other
that
it just,
turned around, and gone home.
what other reports around that area
Mhm.
of things? Have there
we
been
have a report of
like
a
that?
skinwalker.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
We've actually dealt with a case with a skinwalker in a cemetery in Livingston County.
Do tell.
And it was darn broad daylight. We were getting equipment out of the vehicle, getting set up. We were going to set up DVR cameras to the cemetery. And my dad decided he was going to walk into the cemetery by himself. All my other members were towards the back of the cemetery looking around. And this red-tailed hawk flew up in the tree. So my father walked towards it. Usually a red-tailed hawk flies away when you walk near it.
Mhm.
This thing didn't. It was kind of watching him, and then all of a sudden he felt sick, like something grabbed him by the wrist. And this hawk didn't even fly away, it just disappeared. And a couple of my members came and got me and said they heard something back by the woods. So we go back there, and here's this same hawk sitting in the tree in the woods. So we just figured keep going, setting up, and then dark came. We started doing our initial investigation. My father stayed in the car all night because he didn't feel good after that experience, and we headed back towards the woods, and one of my members ran off, which is a big no-no in my group, and she went towards the woods, and she heard footsteps coming at her, and we couldn't see her. It was too dark. She immediately come running back to me. She said something growled at her, and it was like footsteps coming at her. And so we continued doing like our EVP sessions and stuff like that. And we heard something up in the corner of the cemetery up in the woods there. So we walked up there to check, and then this owl let out a hoot right next to us. And usually an owl won't stay in the tree either if you walk up on them. And we hit the flashlight, and I was about maybe 2 inches away from getting impaled by a fence post to my stomach.
Wow.
And a couple of my other members decided to go out there during the day. I was at work, and I told them not to play around that cemetery. And they went out there, and they're both mediums, so they felt the skinwalker there. And they seen this squirrel, and the squirrel wasn't acting right. It was acting real funny. They said it couldn't even climb a tree,
Interesting.
which a skinwalker does shapeshift to animals. They'll shapeshift to birds, coyotes, hawks, owls.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And the theory is with a skinwalker, they hang around cemeteries to try to dig up the dead to make more skinwalkers. Which a skinwalker is an old Navajo witch doctor that practiced black magic when they were alive, and then when they died, they just became evil spirits. And they will kill you if they get a hold of you.
Oh yeah.
And like my father, his experience, he had a bruise for like 2 days that showed up on his wrist of a thumbprint with claws. And after that, we'd never been back to that cemetery since.
Damn.
Not even in the daytime?
Two of my members went. I took them out there to show them,
Mm-hmm.
but we didn't stay very long because I didn't want them getting hurt.
No, Jake, I'm not going on assignment.
Wendy, you must. We need a Facebook Live session.
Yeah, those are pretty much the big experiences I've had with that type of stuff.
So, Russell, then when you were talking about the shadow figure, shadow monster with the red eyes, you said that there was the cemetery up the road, because I hear that and I think, is it a hellhound? But I've never heard of like a hellhound standing up.
No, I've never seen a hellhound stand up. Most of them usually stay on all fours.
Mm-hmm.
But this thing just stood right to its feet on 2 legs like it was a human. could have been possibly a skinwalker.
Okay.
Damn.
We don't know because it was so dark out you couldn't really get a distinctive feature. You could just see the outline of it.
Mm-hmm.
Which when it come across on all fours, it was like a dog, and then all of a sudden it just stood to like a humanoid figure. So
Yeah.
and
then
just them red eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And so we talked a little bit about the eyes, but like, are we talking like Merle MoMo red, or are we talking like a blinking, sizzling kind of red?
Probably about a Momo red.
Okay.
Momo
Okay.
red.
Something like you would see with the Mothman or the Jersey Devil red.
Mm-hmm.
They were bright.
Yeah, because usually like a cat or dog, either, any of them that with the reflective lens in their eyes, those will usually come back as blue or white
Yep.
or something, right? Yellow sometimes.
Yeah, especially if you hit them with car headlights. And this got hit with car headlights,
Mm-hmm.
and the lights just passed right through it.
Okay. Yeah. That's the next thing I was going to ask is, did the lights go through? Did they illuminate? Because if it illuminated, it's a solid mass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't solid. It definitely went through it.
Mm-hmm. Now, with the skinwalker, I mean, I only hear about that happening in the Southwest United States, not Southwest Missouri.
Oh, they'll travel 50 miles a night
Okay.
in search to make new
Wow.
skinwalkers.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Terrifying.
Well,
And
probably a lot like everything. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Missouri's got a lot of Native American history out here.
Mhm.
You have the Osage Indians, and then you've had Cherokees out here, Comanches in Oklahoma, which Comanches are a descendant off the Navajos.
Right. Well,
So it's common you could probably get a skinwalker out in this area.
Mhm.
Just
And
a
we
question.
deal with a lot of cases like that. We're actually getting ready to go out on a case that has history of Native American down in an area where the Osage Indians had murdered a family.
Oh.
Wow.
And we're actually going next Saturday on that one,
Cool.
which is way down by St. Louis.
Oh, goody. A short drive, but not bad. Not a bad drive.
Nah, it's about 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Cool.
Yeah, we travel quite a bit, and we're going to be in Ohio.
Oh, you gonna head on up there?
Yeah, we're going to head up there and do that. That's a pretty bad case that we're going to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
What's that one?
There's a little girl getting tormented by something. The parents are calling it something demonic. The way she described it, I've showed her a couple pictures, and she described it as, I don't like to chant his name because you can call him forward,
Okay.
but it starts with a B. Wendy, you
Okay.
probably know who I'm talking about.
Probably.
The second level of hell.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And I've dealt with them before on a case in Kansas City. So we have a good track record of getting rid of them.
Good deal.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's going to be a tough one.
Mm-hmm. Do you
Question
do that?
for you. Oh, go ahead.
Do you
Wendy,
do that
sorry.
through Cold Spotters, or are you your group?
My group.
Okay, cool.
I'm just friends with Cold Spotters because of Rob.
Right. Okay,
I've known Rob for over 20 years, so
that's awesome.
he's actually the one that helped me get started. So
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Very cool.
that's probably almost 30 years ago now. So I've been doing this.
Oh, wow.
I wouldn't guess your age that.
Not many people do.
Yeah.
I look younger than I actually am.
That never hurts anything.
But other than like Bigfoot and the Momo monster, I've never had any experiences with them in all my years hunting and fishing.
Okay.
Mhm.
I mean, I've heard some strange stuff in the woods, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems like a lot of the critters that at least we're talking on a little bit later in the show, very much nocturnal creatures. Very
Mhm.
much nocturnal.
yeah, and when we go hunting, we go out early in the morning in the dark, and we don't come in till dark. So
Okay.
Mhm.
most of the time we're out there when they're supposed to be sounding off. And I grew up in the southern part of New York where we had the Delaware River, so there's a big habitat, and you hear reports all the time of Bigfoot being up in that area, but I've never actually experienced one or seen one out there.
Yeah. I know this will be funny. On Monday night, we were streaming to prep kind of like just for fun for Missouri Monsters, and we watched Finding Bigfoot, and they went down to the Ozarks. And this is the first time I'd really, really watched a Bigfoot hunting show. and it just seems like everyone stood around and went whoop and hit trees with sticks.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
played a violin.
Yeah. Pretty much between Bobo and Matt Moneymaker and Cliff and them.
Yeah. So this is
due respect to them. To me, they like to fool around quite a bit too.
Yeah,
so.
I was gonna say. Then I watched like Expedition Bigfoot. And I'm like, whoa, they're using like drones and thermal cameras. Doing DNA analysis.
Right. Yeah.
Well, that's like you hear reports of people. There was one report somebody shot a Bigfoot and then buried him in the leaves and went to go get somebody and come back and Bigfoot was gone.
Yeah,
I heard about that one.
Yeah, that one was up in the Pacific Northwest.
Yep.
Yeah, so my neck of the woods. I saw that was probably 5 years ago, maybe it was 7 years ago. I heard that, but I'm just like, well, that's a lot of meat, and you're putting in the forest with black bears and all that other good stuff. Then like meat.
Yep.
Well, that's like even the screams you hear in the woods. A lot of people don't realize mountain lions scream.
They do.
So does bobcats.
Yeah, a bobcat. Yeah, foxes. Foxes are notorious screamers. And you guys got elk, and elk has a very unique. When I cover the howler, the elk bugle, it's called, but that elk screech. That
Very
is
hollow and
something
loud.
to behold.
I've stayed at a couple houses close to elk reserves up here, and that was loud. What am I hearing?
I'm just like, what are these? The grays coming down from the moon to get me? What the hell is this?
Woohoo! Party.
Well, that's like we got called to check out an urban legend case in a cemetery in Bramer, and there was reports of howling out there and screaming. I was watching a YouTube video of a bunch of kids went out there trying to be brave to get out there, and supposedly if you see the blue light, your car won't start.
Oh, okay.
So we went out there. We helped law enforcement out with some of them urban legends, so we went out there to try to debunk it, which we were able to find out where the howl was coming from. It was coyotes hanging in the field in the back because they had cattle out back there. We did see the blue light, and our car did start. We were able to leave perfectly.
Good deal.
But we did, during broad daylight, have something come. You can hear it walk up to our recorder that we left laying on a stone and shut it off.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
and you can hear in the recorder all of us are in the back of the cemetery.
Goodness. Okay.
But we were able to debunk most of that stuff, that claims.
Yeah.
Cool.
So Russell, it's the time to move on to the MoMo, but you are happy to hang out in the background for the rest of the show if you'd like.
Okay.
Or come in for color commentary if you need to.
Sure.
All right.
But it is, I got to get Merle going on his Missouri monster.
Yes, I brushed up on my there we go. I brushed up on my United States geography today and found out where was 1972 was when MoMo kind of surfaced in Louisiana, Missouri. The first case that I read happened was kids were playing in the backyard and they see this 7-foot hairy creature with a pumpkin-like head covered in fur, with some say it has green eyes, some say it has red eyes, some say it has 3 toes. But either way, just like that photo, we'll go with that one. And it was standing there holding a deceased dog. I think it was like the neighbor's dog or something like that. absolutely scarred these kids. They come inside, panic to their parents, and the city actually they did a search party for this creature. I think they had 12 or more men strap up and go into the woods and try and see if they can find this creature. And obviously they didn't find it. There's been a lot of sightings of Momo, but they say more often than not you smell him. He smells. The quote I have is what does it say here? He smells as horrible as an old goat. Direct quote from a Louisiana, Missouri local in 1974.
74.
Yeah, there's been various cases throughout of like just seeing him, hearing him, and allegedly he stinks again like an old goat. Growls like a bear. Some mistake him for a bear, but when they've seen him, they'll see that he has green or red eyes, and bears do not have green or red eyes, no matter the species. Some Momo stories got amplified as well. There's stories of Momo picking up sports cars, throwing it in ditches. Stories of Momo throwing other things, like there's cars, there were camping stuff, and no one's ever found him. He sounds a bit like Bigfoot. Maybe he's Bigfoot's second cousin from who knows. But from what I've read, because like Jake, I live in the Pacific Northwest, just Canada side, and we get a lot of Bigfoot, Sasquatch up here. It's all tons of it. And from all the stories and reports I read, I was reading a lot on Momo today and yesterday. He or she sounds a lot like Sasquatch. So I'm wondering if there's a link there or if it's a different species.
So my question with Momo is, it seems like he had, I mean, are there contemporary sightings of Momo, or has everyone just kind of shifted to Bigfoot?
Well, one of the other sightings I read was that there was a person using a washroom and they looked out the window and saw Momo. And then Momo was gone, obviously, when they kind of double taked it. So, yes, there's been sightings of Momo.
Okay.
Stands like a man. Most reports are 6 to 7 feet at most, literally like a really oddly round pumpkin head, but everything is covered with hair.
Okay.
Some other, like the dramatic stories, or I call them amplified stories, where like he's picking up cars and chucking them in a ditch. Allegedly, he grew 12 to 15 feet. For stories like that, so Momo probably originated from something, but then over the years got a little Hollywoodized. But this town has sent multiple parties of like I said earlier, 12 armed men brushing around the forest looking for him. And nothing.
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting about this with Momo is when I learned about him, because I really didn't know that much about Momo, and I don't know if it's a him or a her. We're just going with him. Was the location wasn't really known for man-apes, sapien.
Nothing.
I don't even know what kind of lingo to use for this. Man-apes. It's when I see this though, even though it's humanoid, I wouldn't call it a man-ape or sapien by any means. Kind of reminds me of wingless Mothman, to be honest.
Or what if it's a subspecies of the pumpkin or the melon heads?
From Michigan? Those melon heads?
Yeah. Hey,
I mean, they could grow up. They could grow up.
They could grow up. They could grow hair. They could. Who knows what happens in the woods?
And maybe migrating south a couple of states made it get bigger, a little more sunshine.
Now, with Momo, when he was first seen, Louisiana, Missouri is about an hour north of St. Louis along the Mississippi, which I always heard about Bigfoots in Missouri being in the Ozarks. So is there a history of Bigfoot sightings, does anyone know, in the northern half of Missouri?
I believe that most of them are in the probably below the I-70 mark.
Is that the interstate that goes between St. Louis and Kansas City? So it like
Yes.
splits the state in half.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. And all
And
the
to
way out to
add-
Colorado, and I think real far east as well. So
Okay.
To add, so the MoMo drawing, I think the black and white photo you have that I gave
Yeah.
you, Jake.
Oops.
So that is the first that one there is what multiple people had seen. Their visual that visual lines up with multiple people.
Mm-hmm.
But what I find odd is how his little eyes are there. It's not even portioned to his head, so he does have a big dome.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Mm-hmm. I don't know Louisiana, Missouri very well in that area. Wendy, you might know more, even though it's east side of Missouri and you're west side of Missouri. But is it forest or is it cornfields? Because like Iowa and Illinois, right across the river from it, and that's soybean country.
it's both.
Okay.
You're still it's a pretty good blend. And you definitely have the Cahokian Indian burial, the mounds out there. I'm sorry, I'm not sure about burial, but they were cities,
Okay.
entire cities
I know.
underground.
Yeah, I know that the Cahokians. Yeah.
And it's still that area. Lots and lots of forest, lots and lots of hills, the rivers, the forests, all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And like I say, I'm not sure if that's the Mark Twain National Forest or not, but it would not be far from it at all.
Okay. That's a big forest, by the way. That the Mark Twain National Forest is big.
It's freaking huge, yeah. You don't want to get lost.
No.
But
Especially
it's
the
really
part.
easy
Yeah.
because of how dense and I'm in bracken and all of that. It's hard to see more than say 20 foot around you sometimes.
Okay.
I like MoMo.
I do too. I think I'm gonna get the book on who's the author. I don't know if is it Lyle Blackburn, something like that, or is it Ken? Is it Ken Gerhard? Yeah,
I think it's both of them actually.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll check that one out. MoMo does interest me because here's the thing. Living in the Pacific Northwest, Merle, you're in the same boat. We have so many people looking for Bigfoot, and there's just so much of it. I'd rather look at other man-apes and say
Come to Missouri, we'll
anything other than Bigfoot.
What if it's MoMo? What if we're all just looking at MoMo?
That's true. What happens if it is really all just MoMo? What if? Go ahead, Wendy.
What if it was what Russell saw?
That's true. Oh,
that's.
I mean, when you look at it,
right? The red eyes and the height would be just about 5-6 feet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it might run on all fours.
That's true. That's true. It could have been a MoMo.
Could have been.
He said it did fade away, but it seems like MoMo vanished after his initial sighting, like he lickety-split skedaddled. That was a daytime. Wasn't it a daytime sighting?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Mike?
Yeah, maybe MoMo. The one, like my story in 72, that was a daytime sighting. It was literally kids in the backyard playing, and they saw MoMo holding a dead stray dog. So maybe.
Wait, did you say holding a dead stray dog?
He was holding a deceased dog, yeah.
I hate MoMo.
Well, but we don't know that Momo killed it. Maybe he was trying to find its people.
True. He could be a carrion feeder. He could be a carrion.
Exactly,
I mean, if the puppy had passed, okay.
Okay, I'm going too far Harry and the Hendersons, aren't I?
I'm thinking, if it's a big big predator, it might have just been like, I can gobble you. I mean, and the other thing is it depends on the breed of dog, because if it was Pomeranian, okay, whatever.
Right, yeah.
No offense to Pomeranian pom-pom lovers out there. Okay, I'm just cracking. Just cracking a joke. But if it was a pit bull, I'd be pissed. Okay.
or a shepherd.
Very true.
Yep,
Mhm.
I agree.
Pretty much any other dog.
Yeah. You got your ankle biters, and then you got your, our dogs.
Yeah. We better move on.
Yes.
Anything else we got going on with Momo? I know he had a movie that came out in 2019. I think it was a documentary. I could be wrong on that. But
It was one of those documentaries, Jake.
okay.
That good, eh?
It's great.
I might check it out though. But like I said, I will learn. I've been learning more about cryptids. So I've been, I'm known as the ghost hunter, but I do have a love for monsters, and I've been racking up the cryptozoology library. It's been increasing, and I will learn more about Momo. I will.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't
Like
see
Momo.
any questions about Momo in the
Anything? Sandy, Heather, got questions? Key
Yeah.
to the other side?
So, if we don't have any more recent information, Wendy,
Yes.
when you want to start talking about some Hornet Spook Lights, because you have a
Uh-oh.
true family encounter.
When I asked my grandmother about 10 years ago, she had said, yes, she definitely saw them. And, it scared the living daylights out of her and her triplet brothers. But, and that would have been late 1920s, early 1930s. So she grew up down in Pineville, Missouri, which is not at all far from Joplin and Hornet and all of those places. Now the sightings of these spook lights go back as far as the first recorded one was from some Native Americans on the Trail of Tears, actually.
Oh.
And it's thought that they thought that it might have been the ghost of a young Indian Native American couple whose parents wouldn't let them marry, and so they came back for vengeance or whatever. And then there was another legend that said that it could be either an indigenous or possibly a Confederate soldier who was decapitated, and this goes down through there looking for its head. I don't know about that. I wish I'd had a little more time to go down there. I kind of have the means now. I could have taken a quick day trip, but I don't know. 1881, they came out with a pamphlet, and it says it's a basketball sized light. It travels generally from east to west along this the Spook Light Road. I'm sorry, I forget what the name of the actual road is now. I know that the locals don't like having the attention down there anymore, but that is what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And lots of people have tried to debunk it. Now it's supposedly changes colors, but it goes from yellowy, orange, red, and then back to more of a white color. It is not heat lightning, or it's not lightning balls, excuse me.
Okay.
The area isn't right for will-o'-the-wisps, which is the gaseous emissions that catch fire with grass and swampy type area. It's not a swamp area. It's been speculated that it could be something to do because it's right on top of the New Madrid fault line, and which runs, I guess, east to west there, and there's some kind of an anomaly that can cause an electrical charge buildup, but that hasn't been proven or disproven, either one. And you have similar, very, very similar lights, say in the Brown Mountains in North Carolina, and I believe there's a place in Texas as well. And then here and there, people see them all the time. But I mean, they're not orbs, right? We don't need to go through with the end dust. They are. I don't know. I am going to definitely go check it out. I do know people down there and I probably still have family down there that could probably set me up down, but don't know. There's just a lot of unknowables there.
So, since they're pretty I mean, is there any clue that these spook lights do they appear at a certain time of day or say after a thunderstorm? Is there anything that would give a clue about when they're going to manifest?
Apparently, they do draw energy from thunderstorms, and we know that they get some hellacious thunderstorms and tornadoes and things down by Joplin. But that's not the only time that they're showing up. But they do definitely they're enhanced when with the thunderstorms.
Okay.
Mhm.
That's kind of yeah. I would want to see it, and so I'm assuming people have approached them.
They've tried,
Mhm.
and then they'll get right up on them, and they're not there.
Oh, hot damn.
Yes, yes.
Okay, because all the Wendy gave us 3 photos of them.
Mhm.
Now I hear this one specifically looks more like a ghost light that you heard about. Like Texas has these on
Yes,
some of their
yes.
country roads as well, and Bachelor's Grove Cemetery has some outside of Chicago
Oh,
has
okay. Mhm.
something similar to. I would say they're not
Oh.
as big as a basketball. I would say they're more like baseball size, but you
Okay.
usually see multiples at the same time.
These are reportedly, you might only see one large
Mhm.
one, or you might see a cluster
Okay.
buzzing around each other and looking larger at times.
Mhm. And again, what is it with this road? I mean, you talked about the gory history and everything, but
Um, it's called several different things. The Devil's Track, or let me look that up real quick.
okay. I mean, the thing that I'm thinking here is if we're having this manifestation, is there a ley line that goes through there or
Yeah.
something?
Well, there's definitely a geographical fault line, so,
Okay. We could
I don't know, we should have asked Cindy.
Yeah, we could have there might be some kind of weird electromagnetic something going on there.
No, you know what? There's not, because I've asked
Oh,
Cindy to look into it before.
okay.
It is
Interesting.
mostly, uh, I believe it's limestone down there.
Oh, I mean, limestone is known for retaining ghostly energy.
Yes, yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
and there were lots and lots and lots of, like, battles, although pre-Civil War, that was, also seen, and Lord knows how long before, before people started traipsing through there, it was seen. Golly, you've got Merrimack Caverns to the east of there, which are pre-Columbian. I guess that's just before Columbus came to America, but
Mhm.
the indigenous drawings and things that are way, way deep in these caves that span hundreds of miles. It's
Mhm.
just the place is riddled with them, which is why I totally believe that, we may have Momos, Sasquatches, uh, your hellhounds,
Uh-huh.
and anything could hide for always.
It's all unexplored, a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Unexplored. Yes.
Yeah. And to catch
Mhm.
this stuff, I mean, you really have to have people dedicated to it. I mean, it's just like ghost hunting, right?
Mhm.
Y- You got to have some consistent eyes on a place, haunt, creature to really, I guess, prove its existence or
Mhm.
capture enough evidence for further. Oh, Live and lip sync free. That's my other half. Thank you. I don't know. Let's just give some shout outs. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Heather. Hi, Key to the Other Side Paranormal. I think this is the first time we've met. Hi, David.
Hi, David.
Hi, David.
As well. Yeah, and I think especially anything in the Ozarks and the immense Mark Twain forest, I mean,
Well, and you do have it is a basic crossroads because you've got it's Oklahoma, Kansas, and Missouri right there,
mm,
and Arkansas just right over the ridge. So
yeah.
yeah, a
So this
lot
would
of
be
different power sources there.
Yeah,
but I don't believe ley
absolutely.
lines.
Okay. Well, I mean, when you think about it, I was reading about the Ozarks. Hello, geography nerd here. And and also I wrote a post about my creature which is coming up next. And with the Ozarks, I mean, it has a lot of limestone. It has a
Yes.
lot of running water that you
Yes.
don't even think about. And we always talk about with limestone and water, you can get some good paranormal energy building up with
Mhm.
that stuff. I mean, this is the first time I
Yep.
ever read about disappearing springs and creeks,
Hmm.
which is flowing from out of the ground from one cave into underground into another cave. And stuff.
Mhm.
The Ozarks is notorious for that stuff.
Oh, and you hit one of those cold springs down in one of the
Oh.
rivers or something.
Mhm.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
awake. Good and
Yeah.
awake.
Now, just I forget, what part of Missouri do the spook lights happen in?
It is in the very far southwest corner.
Okay, so this is down Oklahoma, Arkansas kind of corner
Yes.
area.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, that's a big spot for like the next monster on the list. Though the next monster on the list really is very south central Missouri, northern Arkansas. So while
Okay.
it might be called the Ozark Howler, its
Hmm.
its sightings are equally distributed between south central Missouri and Arkansas. I forgot what the name of the big lake country is there. I think Lake Springfield might be there and everything, but
Lake
it
of the
seems
Ozarks.
yeah.
Mhm.
So with that,
I'm excited for this one.
Did
let's
you want
talk
to play the
about.
video clip or no? I'm sorry.
Oh, you got a video clip of the ghost spook lights?
I did. I sent you a video clip.
Oh, I will totally show that. Let me drop
Okay.
this.
Or it was at least a YouTube video link.
Yeah, no, not a problem.
And it
I didn't
happened
see it.
a minute or so in.
Okay.
To the
one sec.
banjo music, no less.
One sec. I'm looking, Wendy. You might have to resend me that video link. I don't.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I see. Is this the Joplin Hornet Spook Light?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one sec.
Okay.
Let me bring this over. We shall play it. And you said it's about a minute in?
Yep.
Okay, give me a sec here while I cue that up, folks.
Oh, sure. And anyways, so
And
Heather, did that cover? Yeah, there is a lot of limestone down there. So lot of limestone.
okay.
Let's
So
see.
we've got the video. I need to make sure I am sharing audio. Do we need the audio for this? I mean, we can.
It actually adds a little ambiance. It's fun.
Okay,
Love a
one
good
sec.
banjo.
Yeah, let me. I didn't click the. Like I said, new software. People don't hate.
Yeah, don't hate. We'll get there.
New software. Clicking it. It is not asking me to share the sound.
Maybe it does it automatically then.
I hope.
Me too.
Let's. Did you guys hear it? Are you hearing it?
No.
No.
Yeah, it didn't ask me to.
Oh, okay. Well, that's gonna kind of take away from it a little bit, but it'll come in here.
Okay. So we saw a little bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming and going in the video. Okay. I just want to make sure that we can see it. Okay, so that's the stretch of road.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That actually might even be the the state borders.
Okay. So I'm going to drop a link to the video here for everyone to go out and see it. So dropping links here isn't as easy as dropping links on Zoom, folks.
We'll get there, though. We'll figure it out. We're taking notes, and we'll be on the development
there we go.
before we know it.
So that's cool to see.
That is.
Mm-hmm.
That does not look like car lights.
It's not car lights.
Yeah.
These have been seen way before cars were even a concept.
So when people, like if people have tried to shine a light up towards them at night, have they dissipated or are they still?
Somebody hit it with a laser, a red laser from way far away, and that was the same group that they couldn't see it when they were basically under it.
Okay.
So, and I think it dissipated then.
Okay. So these are folks just talking about it, but we want to see that footage.
And directions to the spook lights from I-44. Take exit 4, Highway BB south. Follow approximately 6 miles to junction route BB. Turn right on BB Highway and follow the road until it ends.
Okay.
Turn
here we
right
go.
again. Go 1 mile. Turn left onto E50 road, also known as Spook Light Road. Approximately 1.5 to 2 miles is the darkest and best place to wait.
Okay. And so
That still
this
doesn't
is.
get me. I know it's called something like the Devil's Backbone or something like that down there. Woo!
That'd be weird to see.
Yeah.
Very weird. And this, I believe this was a news crew.
Okay. Too bad I can't. Didn't let me share the sound. When you go to share, it gives you a checkbox to share the sound, and it didn't have it. Okay, folks. Well, that is eerie and
It is
kind of alien.
Ominous.
And, you can't rule it out. It might not be most likely, but goodness gracious, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, folks. Well, that is spook lights.
Wow.
Those were fun. I'm going to look into those. I'm going to look into more of
too.
those. Oops. I meant to kill it. Like I said, new software people.
I think we might, I might head over to North Carolina and pick up Rob and Amanda and head up to the Brown Mountains even.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, the Brown Mountains. Those are in Arkansas, aren't they?
No, those are in North Carolina.
Oh, my bad. Okay. Oh, I'm thinking the Boston Mountains. I'm thinking the Boston Mountains, which are at the south end.
Okay.
Of the Salem Plateau.
Oh, okay.
So the Ozarks, which is where we're going next for the Howler, which is what I got behind me. Let me share a screen of what we saw a little bit earlier. But let's have a little story because the Howler is actually that's not the one I wanted. Here we go. So with the Howler, it actually dates back to pioneer days.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a monster, a Missouri monster from before Missouri became the state of
Mm-hmm.
Missouri. And how the story goes is it's tied into all sorts of historic figures. The first documented sighting came from Daniel Boone. And Daniel Boone, in a letter to his sister in 1810, wrote that he was out hunting and he saw this fearsome beast with red eyes and horns and shaggy black fur, and he shot and wounded it. Now, there's some history here because Daniel Boone is about the only person that has encountered the beast twice. One time he shot and wounded, one time he shot and killed. That would have been 1816. Like I said, some of the stuff I said he killed it in 1810, some say 1816. Anyway, takeaway 1810, 1816, Daniel Boone met this beast. And he had it stuffed and mounted. But the thing is, and because I was looking all over for it, ain't no body been found that stuffed howler. But it has been consistent at least every year in the Ozarks. And I got to say, though, when it comes to the howler sightings, and I could switch over to my, let me switch over to my blog post because I got a map of the Ozarks that I can
Okay.
show you. The sightings with the howler very much in south central Missouri and into north central Arkansas with the sightings, and then over towards Oklahoma, over towards Kansas. A little bit goes through Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
It has been that's where most of it's seen, but it has been seen as far north as the St. Francis or St. Francois Mountains outside of St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
So let me get to my blog post here so I can show you.
Down by the boot heel. Excuse me.
I think that's it. I could be wrong. Okay. This isn't, I've got an audio clip I wanted to play of the scream because that's the big thing. Doesn't look like it's going to let me share that. But, you know, we have some recent sightings of the Howler 2. I mean, we have them as recent as 2022 in Falcon, Missouri.
Wow.
So still consistently to this day. But here is, just so you can see the range of the howler. I mean, St. Louis is about right in here somewhere, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
But
Yep.
it's
Right
up
in
there. Yeah. So, I mean, the Ozarks is a huge territory.
Mm-hmm.
And you get sightings here in Francois. There's been sightings, and I find this is interesting, is down here, and I forgot the name of the town, but that's where the elk refuges are as well.
Oh, okay. There's also one just a little north of me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the sightings you see here are on the southern, or mainly the Salem Plateau in here with this part of the Springfield Plateau. There's a series of lakes here and on the Missouri side as well, where a lot of the sightings happen and stuff. But when it comes to the actual description of the beast, and we can go back to let's go back to the picture because this isn't as fun as the picture.
Okay.
I had as I move around between screens here. It's a little bit longer than it takes in Zoom to share pictures in StreamYard, I will say. But I got to say, a lot of the descriptions are somewhat similar to this. And so what you see is it's kind of like a bear and a bobcat had a baby and kept the shaggy fur of the bear.
Yeah.
Now, when we talk historically about it, and here's an interesting thing. Let's talk about the butt. It's with the tail. And this is the part when we hear about the sightings over the years, and this is from 1810 through the 1950s. 1950s had its own take, I will get to it, of the beast. But the big thing is it's a beefy beast, heavy belly, deep chest. A lot of it is like kind of looks more like a bear, but with the agility and the movement of a cat. The tail is the big part that's in question. And that's because a lot of them say it's a long, like feline type, like mountain lion type with a tuft of fur at the end. Others say there's no tail or it's a bob. Who knows? There could be variation in the species. What's different about this is the horns are more like a ram. So in this artist rendition, they had them come forward. This seems a bit more bovine. Usually it curves behind like a ram.
Okay.
And then with the face, that's kind of all over the place.
Yes,
If
it
you go to
is.
my blog post, there's a really good artistic rendition of it. I think it's my best, which is like like if you saw a standard goat, kind of the horns go back like that, and the face looks like a mashup of a wolf and a bear, and very shaggy. But the other big things, though, the teeth is about right, and razor sharp
wow.
claws. But in the 50s, there was a series of about 5 sightings and from hunters, and those sightings described a goat-like beast, about the size, a little bit bigger than a goat, with the same shaggy fur.
Weird.
But the face was that of a bear and wolf. So you can imagine a goat with longer hair and a wolf bear like mashup of its face. So that's those sightings. Let's see here. Let's see if there's anything else. The big thing though with the howler is its name is the howl. So you know what? I'm gonna have to drop a link because I couldn't share the audio from my computer for this, but I did a mashup based on the reports of the beast. The other thing is the glowing red eyes is always consistent. So let me drop a link here. So if you want to go out and listen to the howl is described as an elk bugle and a wolf howl combined.
Oh, geez.
So I used my audio software and I merged the two, so you could hear what it would sound like. And you know, if you want to do it, I mean, I can try sharing again to see if I can actually
Make it happen.
Yeah, let's see if I can make it happen, because I really want you to hear it, because it is scary. Like if you heard that stuff, if it was nearby, I'd be out of there.
I'm out.
Okay. So I'm gonna try to share window. I'm clicking this. It's not gonna let me play. But I got some more pictures on there for you. So with the evidence, here is the audio file. I mean, I can try to play it. I don't think it's gonna play. Do you hear anything? Okay. So for the listeners, if you go out to the website, you can play that audio clip. One of the other things that we see here, and I can bring up this clip, is there was a trail cam put up in someone's backyard, and they thought they caught the howler. We can get to that. But this is like the recreation that I think, based on everything I've read about the witness reports, that it would explain the head. So you've got the horn that comes back. You've got the shag. And you've got like bare teeth in somewhat of a wolf muzzle. So I like that one. Another one that matches descriptions pretty well is right here. I mean, when it comes to the size of the howler, a lot of people describe it as being 3 feet at the shoulder up to 6 feet at the shoulder. But if it's 6 feet at the shoulder, like, people are going to notice that thing. So,
Right.
but it can stand on its back legs and walk a little bit, like rear up. There's a couple of reports of that. I don't know how much of it I buy that, but if we go with the bear-like thing, they can stand up, and they have short, they have thick, stocky legs. And then I like this one. So this is very much the bear option with the ram horns. I don't see anything cat-like about that, though.
No, not at all.
No, but it's big. I mean, this is like, we're talking about 6 feet at the shoulder. You see the little size thing over here.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, people would notice that running through the forest.
Unless it has capabilities,
Yeah. Oh, well.
It's that wormhole, and
yeah. So let me get back to the monster thing, because that's more fun than looking at us. And so when it comes to the origin of the creature, and just so you know, no one has really captured a good, clear video or picture of this. Like, when you do see it, it's very hoaxy. but there is a supernatural perspective to the beast. And it comes down to hellhounds. There's a lot of reports that what you hear about with the howler, its appearance, and it does match up with hellhounds. However, no one's being dragged back to hell. It's not hanging out in cemeteries or anything like that. So if you weigh that, I don't know if I would call the howler necessarily that type of creature. I think there is something from the British Isles called a Kusudu or Kusu, something like that. But
right. That's even a little more different though. That's more.
Okay.
They've got more green fur
Mhm.
and
Okay.
incredibly long tongues
Okay.
and tails.
All right.
We have
Now,
a version called the Wahila.
Wahila. Oh, we're gonna have to do Paranormal British Columbia and get this cryptid
Yeah.
scoop.
And we'll do that one in 2 weeks. Yes.
Okay, we will do
Okay.
that. But some of the supernatural abilities applied to the howler, and I gotta say, most of the reports that I've heard from just reading online, listening to the podcast, watching the videos, they very much make the howler seem like a natural critter, not supernatural. But there are some things supernatural applied to it, and that would be intangibility, which when Russell was talking, I was like, oh.
Yeah,
Teleportation,
Mm-hmm.
so it can go around the forest. Of course, night vision, rapid healing because it's been shot and kind of giggled it off. A howl that kills similar to the Wendigo. So like I said, if you go to the website, you play that file, you're going to be like, I can see that. Because with the Wendigo, it's not so much that the screech is a death sonic beam. It's more, it just scares you to death. The other thing is kind of banshee related. So I can see the British and the hellhound aspect of it
Right. Yeah.
is
The
when you hear it,
harbinger.
it's howl. Yeah, it's a death omen.
Mm-hmm.
And usually within a few days to a month, the person that heard it has an accident that kills them. And then the other thing is the death stare. So if you look into its eyes, it's going to kill you. I'm thinking if you're that close to looking at its eyes, you see that maw, it's just going to rip your head off. And, there you go.
Or you're going to die of a heart attack right
Yeah,
there. So.
something like that. Now, from a natural zoological perspective, because people have gone out and researched and looked into this stuff. And I got to say, like I said, the evidence was a little sparse for everything, but there have been cryptozoologists and actually a lot of field biologists have gone out into the Ozarks to look for this one. And most cases from a naturalistic perspective, they think it's a cougar. Everything would indicate it's a cougar. Now, the one thing that's a bit different is cougars are not melanistic.
Right.
That means they don't have black fur. There's no variation. Now, you have jaguars that do. That's a panther. But mountain lions, pumas, cougars, they are not black. Bobcats, however, which are all over the Ozarks, but much tinier, can be melanistic. They have found black bobcats. The other thing is it could be some kind of physical deformity with a black bear. Black bear are also all over the Ozarks. But the most interesting one was the red wolf. And when you hear the howl of the red wolf, you would think, oh, okay. What's interesting about the red wolf, it's a very, it's a subspecies of your standard, I think, gray wolf or timber wolf. But they're found in the South. A lot of people confuse them with coyotes, so they've been killed off, but they are actual wolves that are small. So
are they the same as the Mexican red wolves, which are just about extinct?
Yeah, or in the Carolinas, in the mountains in the Carolinas, those red wolves. Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, same thing. And so that's how they explain it. But it's like the mystery of the howler. It's probably most likely just a variation of one of the critters in the area. Who knows? It could be an undiscovered critter. It's just
it's a little that's reaching.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For one thing, there haven't seen enough of them to have a breeding population. You usually need 500 in like an area of the Ozarks to sustain a population, especially
Okay.
from like 1810 to the present.
Yeah.
So there could be more to it than not, but let's just say the Ozark Howler, while it might be a cryptid, might end up actually being proven to exist, which I think is interesting.
Quite
Very
interesting.
interesting.
Lots of sightings of it too, though, and pretty consistent with the black fur, kind of bear-like, moves like a cat. The tail thing, I'm like, it could be like Tasmanian devils. They wake up in the morning, hey, honey, let me eat your face. You never know if they just are antagonistic towards each other. That's why some of them don't have tails.
Mm-hmm.
But I can play the video of the sighting real quick. And let me go here. Let me share. And here we go. Oh, we'll actually play the audio. Note to self. If I'm sharing Chrome tab, so I might be able to play the howl for you. I know how to do it now.
Okay.
So you can see the red circle.
Yes.
So that is a still image. This is like the only thing that claims that it could be a howler. But I got to tell you, when I see it, I'm thinking it could be just pareidolia. You're seeing something in the brush that isn't there.
I can definitely see where you would think that would be
A cat-like creature.
or a bear-like creature,
Yeah.
or a great big
I
dog-like
couldn't
creature.
confirm that.
Yeah, but I mean, when you look at it with the brush around it, it's not the highest resolution. I'm kind of like, So
yeah, there's all kinds of shadows over here that look quite similar too. Yeah.
So this was taken to, I think it was in the University of Arkansas. I could be wrong on that.
Okay.
It was taken to biologists that specialize in wildlife in the Ozarks. And they said it looks like a cougar because they do have transient cougar populations in the Ozarks. It's not a breeding population. They're visitors, essentially.
Right.
And they're
I'm
like, if
still thinking, no,
anything,
that doesn't look like a cougar to me, but okay.
yeah. And like I said, the resolution and light, it's not so great, I gotta tell you.
Yeah.
But let me try playing the howl now that I figured that out. So when I do this, I can't see myself on screen, so I don't know what I'm claiming.
Oh, okay. You're fine.
Okay. Let me do a tab. I'm going to go over to where is it? Here we go. Share. Yeah, here we go. It says it's sharing the audio. So here we go, folks. I'm going to try to play it for you.
Drum roll.
Let's hope it plays. Are you ready?
There you go.
Let me go back. So that's an elk merged with a wolf howl, which is what it's described as. So I guess you heard it.
Elephant.
Yeah, it did kind of sound like an elephant, but it is the elk bugle
Mm-hmm.
with the wolf howl merged.
That's creepy.
Yeah. And nothing, I can't say I've heard anything about it.
Nothing in the wild.
Yeah.
Nothing singular in the wild.
Yeah.
Has that kind of a, yeah.
Yeah. So in the post, I put the video, I put it on the timing where the video with the creature appears here. So if you go out to the post and check it out, I think I've got my favorite picture of the howler. Let me show you my favorite picture of the howler artist rendition. I couldn't put it on here because it was copyrighted.
Oh.
I didn't want to get it shut down. That's not good, folks. This is my absolute favorite rendition of the howler.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm. But again, that's another one we're moving into about 6
You're
foot.
looking more bearish, but at the same time, the skull itself that's wild.
Yeah. So this is a good one. I might order this If it's in a book of monsters, I might order that one. So
That's cool.
Awesome.
anyway, I mean, guys, that's
Mhm.
and that's what I got for you on the Howler. I was going to say I put the recent sightings, but this has been Howler sightings have been pretty well documented. It's from the 50s, and it goes way back to pioneer days. So
I like that.
So if you want, you can go check this out. What I also like for you folks is you check it out for yourself. I put all my sources at the end where I got everything, all the information at the end of the post. So you can copy
Awesome.
the links and paste them in and go read it and see it for yourself.
Yeah, Melissa, I'd run from it too.
Mhm.
Yes.
Well, no,
Anyway.
I wouldn't, because I would probably just drop dead right there. I mean,
And the Howler's counting on that.
uh-huh.
Yep.
Mhm.
Dinner time.
Yum, yum, yum. Mm.
That doesn't taste like a raspberry.
I mean, the last thing I had was the Nixa Hellhound, which is a very short story, if you want to hear
Okay.
that.
Okay.
And there's not even much to say about it. So here's the scoop. It's 2009. And some folks are at Camp Winoka. I might be mispronouncing that, but it's by Lake Springfield. And it's a hunting lodge. It's now abandoned, I think, built in 1890. So here's the urban legend on it. In the 70s, it used to be a Girl Scout camp. 3 Girl Scouts were murdered. And they never found out who killed them. Never happened. Complete urban legend. But that location.
Mhm, mhm.
So some folks were out there and they saw, I got a picture of it, actually. I got a picture of it. I'll show you this beast. Let me make sure I've got it. Oh, yeah, it's in this one. One sec, folks. Like I said, I like to share pictures. This is a little bit more difficult and cumbersome than Zoom, I will say. But bear with me. Here we are. So if you can see that, I've zoomed, I've made it as big as I can before you can't really tell what it is. And so it was after, or actually it was before a thunderstorm, about a day before a really powerful thunderstorm in the summer of 2009. And this picture was taken and people described it as like a mid-sized dog with a hunch on its back. This one has a tail. Some of the report says it doesn't, but it's kind of like you took a dog and a bear and a deer and mashed them up into it. And it was just prowling around and then vanished. Now, in 2011, it caught the interest of some radio hosts.
Oh, Lordy.
I forgot. I think it's 96.5 or forgot what it was out of Springfield. I could be wrong on that.
Okay.
And they named him Paul or Pete, something like that. He's got a Facebook page. And there'd been a few more sightings of him. I think the most recent one was in 2017 up by St. Louis. And it's the kind of thing before a big storm. And some of the reports are the day after a big storm. You will see this hellhound roaming around. Some reports, are at a lake. Some reports are at a cemetery. It's kind of all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
But, this is kind of a newfangled cryptid that's popped up. I think if I counted it, there's been 5 sightings since 2009. And so the town was Nixa. I think that's where, hence the name Nixa Hellhound. But it was described as kind of having reddish eyes too. I wouldn't say there was anything death omen about or anything. I'm just thinking it's either a bear that lost its fur from some reason or mange or something like that. There was one report from one guy called it a booger dog. It's just like every 20 years, you just get this big mutant looking dog that roams through. Okay. But that's the Nixa Hellhound. It's been on a couple of podcasts. That's what I can tell you about the Nixa Hellhound. I mean, I wish I had more for you, but to me, it seems hoaxy.
A little bit. Looks like a golden retriever.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I was surprised how many dogman sightings there are in
Hmm.
Missouri.
Oh yeah.
That you can't look up Missouri monsters without that coming up a little bit.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, that would be. I mean, I wish I'd known that when we did our Linda Godfrey show. We could have
Oh,
talked
me
about.
too. Yeah. I
But
really had no idea.
yeah, because I mean, when it comes to dogmen, I mean, first things first, I go straight to Michigan and Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So I can stop that screen.
But yeah, once again, in that Mark Twain National Forest kind of area, and out in the boonies, basically,
Mm-hmm.
where all the sightings happen.
Yep.
Missouri has lots of cool stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's my bit. If we've got more critters to talk about, I'm not. I mean, I did my critter research.
I like my MoMo research.
Yeah, Momo's cool. I'm gonna do more Momo. I'm gonna do more
Yeah.
ghost lights. So, gang, I guess is this the
I guess we
show?
about hit the end.
Yeah.
This was
Any
a good
questions
one.
in the audience, or
We just get comments like spooky. I'd run from that.
mm-hmm.
Live and lip sync free. Is there any sandstone in the area from how the Ozarks are? There's a lot of sandstone
Yes.
and limestone as well. A lot of
Yeah, those
igneous
limestone
rocks too.
caves are just they're
Quartz.
just everywhere.
Yeah,
Jesse James hit
yeah,
them.
the Ozarks have a lot of quartz. I mean, that's kind of obvious because
Yes.
there's diamonds in Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to come from quartz.
And there is a town called Diamond, Arkansas. So.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, folks, then.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's about all I've got anyway.
Yeah, me too. Merle, thanks for hanging around. I know you said you needed to skedaddle a few minutes ago.
That's okay. I'm excited to do a BC one now. I'm all about
Okay.
these monsters. Jake has
Well, can I-
started something.
Can I? Well, you know what? We can propose this for every show we do. We could do a Squatch Watch section on the
Squatch
latest
Watch.
sighting.
Yeah.
Squatch Watch, a little short, like 5 minutes.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
If we do BC, I mean, if you've got a lake monster or sea monster, I mean, I'd like
Ogo
that.
Pogo
Oh, okay, I'll do Ogo
Oh,
Pogo.
yeah.
I'll do Ogo Pogo when we do that
and
one.
the Cameron Lake sea creature.
Cameron Lake sea
Dude,
creature.
wait till
I'm
I
gonna
will
do
send
that.
you a list to both of you. You guys will be like,
Okay.
didn't hit my hat.
Okay. I'll do the aquatic monster. I will totally do
All
the
right.
aquatic monster. Okay. Wendy, any parting words?
No.
That was good. Perfect. Good draw.
Okay.
Anybody out there listening that needs a pet sitter, we've gone dead. We've gone dead for January and most of February. So the rest of the year's filling up, of course, but
And she takes hellhounds.
She does
Yes.
hellhounds and
Oh,
howlers.
absolutely.
Hellcats.
Mhm.
Hellcats, hellhounds. Hell bunnies. Hell bunnies, what the hell?
Everything.
Booker.
You could, yes.
Okay.
But no spiders or snakes. I know.
I mean, they wouldn't be high on my list of things anyway.
Some people really love them, and that's cool. That's all great, but I'm not one of those people.
Okay, gang. Well then, Merle, any parting words?
No, I really enjoyed this show. I enjoyed all of our stories, and I think it's fun to do these. I think we should do more of them. Those are my
We should
parting
do more
words.
monsters. Yeah.
They are. They're very fun and enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. Okay, gang. Well then, with that, have a lovely evening, and be on the watch out
That's right.
for monsters.
I'll be
They're
taking
everywhere.
Augie with me if I go outside in the dark.
Watch out for Momo. You're in his hood.
Yep.
True that. True.
Hey,
Okay,
here's
that
my
Nixa
mom.
Hellhound. All right.
Yeah.
Take care, folks.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Bye.
Good night.